please join in singing in body and spirit with us. Here we go. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change and life from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we fight. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great journey. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great journey, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great journey, we shall learn to lead in love.
Witnesses of the world, testigos del mundo, by Tanya Marquez. Es ahora que estamos llamados a ser testigos del mundo, en enmendarlo, a cambiar su curso y restaurarlo. Es ahora que somos llamados a vivir nuestros valores, a no escondernos, a no temer, sino a ser arduces y a ser rudio. Es ahora que somos llamados a continuar nuestra lucha por la justicia, a organizarnos, a levantar las voces. Es ahora reunámonos valor unos a otros. Celebramos.
Witnesses of the World by Tanya Marquez in English. It is now, when we are called as witnesses of the world, to mend it, to change its course, to restore it. It is now, when we are called to act on our values. Not to hide, not to fear, but to be bold and loud. It is now that we are called to continue our fight for justice, to organize, to speak up. It is now. Let us gather. Let us give each other courage. Let us worship. Blessed be. And now, please join us in reciting our chalice lighting words. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice.
Good morning. My name is Katie Seifert. I'm the Director of Music Ministries here, and it is always a pleasure to be with you both in person and online. Let's stand together.
Katie?
Yeah?
Real quick, we need to finish our welcome.
Oh, let me do this song. My bad.
When you said good morning, I was just starting to say that, and I thought, oh my God, my voice is coming from a different place. That's what I get for partying until 3 a.m. with the Grateful Dead cover band. Roll!
Well, that's a good reason.
Well, good morning and welcome to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation and this sacred space. My name is Barbara, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm so pleased to share this space with VUU member Barb Quijada, who will be giving the reflection, the Worship Associate reflection later on. So welcome to this place, Barbara. It's also my pleasure, and I take very seriously, to be the lay presence in the pulpit and to welcome everyone who is present with us today, including those of you in person, as well as those of you who are viewing online, whether with Zoom or YouTube. We're delighted you're here to worship with us today and welcome you respecting your age and able-bodiedness, your spiritual beliefs, your religious background, your family, economic status, and political affiliation. We respect your way of loving. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we welcome you to this sacred space of love and community. Let this time together be a coming together to honor diversity in all its forms and welcome each other with openness, compassion, and care. And now, let's also extend a greeting to each other. Those of you in person can look at the camera over here and give a wave to our Zoomers. Hi. And Zoomers can wave back. Thank you. And we're always delighted to welcome guests. For those of you who are visiting VUU today, either online or in person, we invite you to raise your hand or even stand so that we can greet you now and after the service. Well, do we have any guests today? Oh, welcome. Welcome. And was there anyone online who raised their hand? I can't really see that far, but anyway, that's my problem. So for those of you attending in person and wanting to know more about Unitarian Universalism and Valley UU, a welcome circle will form in the sanctuary after the service. So just look for the big welcome circle sign, grab a beverage and snack, and join the circle. And anyone else, even longtime VUU member, is certainly welcome to join that circle. And if you're online, you will have an opportunity to join a breakout room afterward where you can tell us a little bit about yourself. However you do it, please leave us your email address so that we can reach out to you during the week. If you have a burden you'd like to share with someone, we have a trained pastoral care associate who will be available after the service, and both in person and online. Our pastoral care associate in the sanctuary today is Joanne Smith. There's Joanne. She's waving. Thank you. And she'll be waiting for you at the very front of the sanctuary on your right, and you can have a private chat with her. If you're viewing online, Claudette Wasil will be on Zoom, and she will put a notice in the Zoom chat, and you can reach out to her privately in order to talk with her. Also, during the week, a lay pastoral care associate is always available via email at pastoralcare@vuu.org. And for those of you in the sanctuary, there is a quiet room on your right to use during the service for anyone needing a timeout. Obviously, that'll be me next. It is soundproofed and has a speaker, so you won't miss anything. And finally, in our pulpit today is our settled minister, the Reverend Sarah Oglesby Dunnigan. And the topic of the service today, including her reflection, is organizing for transformation. We're all grateful you're here, and being together with you is so wonderful. And now, let the people say, welcome! Woo!
And now we'll sing. Please stand in body or in spirit and singing our opening hymn, Where You Go, I Will Go.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you lie, I will lie, beloved. Where you lie, I will lie. Where you lie, I will lie, beloved. Where you lie, I will lie. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, refugee. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, refugee. Where you go, I will go. Where you lie, I will lie, refugee. Where you lie, I will lie. Where you lie, I will lie, refugee. Where you lie, I will lie. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Our struggles align. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Our struggles align. Where you go, I will go, ancestor. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, ancestor. Where you go, I will go. Where you lie, I will lie, ancestor. Where you lie, I will lie. Where you lie, I will lie, ancestors. Where you lie, I will lie. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, my friends. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, my friends. Where you go, I will go. Look around you while we sing this. Where you lie, I will lie, my friends. Where you lie, I will lie. Where you lie, I will lie, my friends. Where you lie, I will lie. And your people are my
Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Our struggles align. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Our struggles align. Just our voices. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Our struggles align. Our struggles align. Our struggles align.
Thank you all for that. That was beautiful. Good morning. I'm Marcy Bodwin. I'm the Director of Faith Formation Ministry here at Valley Unitarian Universalist, and I use the she, her pronouns. Now is the time for our Time for All Ages story. So if you're at home and you have kids, now's the time to bring them in front of your screen. If you're in person, come on down. Kids, you can bring your grown-ups with you if you'd like. Make sure you can see this screen where you're sitting. Ooh, we have a nice-sized group of kids here today. All right. Come on down. So later in the service, after the kids are gone, you're going to be singing, the choir is going to lead you singing in the song, Draw the Circle Wide. Some of you remember that song? You guys remember it, the choir, right? Tell me you remember it. So the lyrics remind us to draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone. Side by side. And that message fits this really cool book that we have today. The title is The Circles All Around Us. It was written by Brad Montague with illustrations by Brad and Christy Montague. So I'm going to ask Skylar, our Faith Formation assistant, to help me with this presentation today. So we begin by drawing a circle on the ground along each shoe. Okay. Now, normally, we don't like it when we have children or grown-ups who write on the floor. Just occurred to me we're maybe not modeling the best behavior. This is a special marker that can come up off of the floor, and we're doing it just for this. Don't do it at home in your kitchen or anywhere, okay? Yeah. Oops, forgot about that. Okay, this is a safe little place for just one person. Nobody in this circle but you. You could keep that circle closed. No, go back one, please. For everyone but yourself. Okay, you're right. I apologize. So if you kept the circle closed for everyone but yourself, it would be almost like having a library with only one book on the shelf. So, let's start to draw our circles wider for you and your family to share. Now you see what all can happen. In a circle full of care. Do you see in the top picture that child is inviting in their sibling? And then over here we have a family circle. Okay. It becomes a happier circle as more loved ones come to stay, which I don't know if you can see, but they're already joining Skylar in their circle. So, a little bigger circle there, huh? All right. Can the camera see them? Okay. And wouldn't it be better if all your friends could come and play? Do you see how that person is having to leave to go to the playground? I think there's a click. There. So look, everybody's in their own space at the playground. So you stretch and you draw a circle even bigger than it's been. Oh. You're letting a few more people in, but not everybody yet. And in the circles all around us, see, there's one with some family. Everywhere that we go, going to somebody who's working, there's a difference we can make and a love we can all show. Not yet. Yet there are still so many outside of the circle, oh my goodness, who are different in all they do. Sometimes it feels slightly uncomfortable. So we draw a circle bigger for them too. It doesn't mean that the circle is easy. It can get harder the more we share. So many people have differences. Can you see the differences up there? I was trying to read that. I only like singing. I only like sports. I only wear dresses. I like comfy shorts. Oh, team cake and team pie. I'm really outgoing, and I'm quiet and shy. Hi.
The circle is widening.
Yeah. We're not done yet. So many differences, but we can have friendship donuts. Wonderful things can happen when love is known and felt everywhere. As time passes, our eyes open. So look at all these little problems up here. And notice how everybody has their own circle they're standing in. We see others we really care for, and look what can happen. That's when we ask ourselves, what's this circle really for? So let us create bigger circles all around us for the rest of our days. Let our caring ripple out in a million little ways. See how all the circles are getting connected? Can you see them? They're a little bit faint. In all the circles all around us everywhere that we go, there's a difference we can make and a love we can all show. As the circles grow and grow, we watch them wonder-eyed. And remember, the first circle started with just the love you hold inside. So, fun. All right, the kids are going to go to class now. You're going to go out through the Ridge of Love and go through the glass doors, meet your teachers on the patio. Thank you.
Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain, race in vain. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain, race in vain. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain, race in vain. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain, race in vain. For I don't want to run this race in vain.
Well, if you can keep up, that is. Now, time for our centering. I have a reading for you, The Seven of Pentacles by Marge Piercy. Under a sky the color of pea soup, she is looking at her work growing away there, actively, thickly, like grapevines or pole beans, as things grow in the real world, slowly enough. If you tend them properly, if you mulch, if you water, if you provide birds that eat insects a home and winter food, if the sun shines and you pick off caterpillars, if the praying mantis comes and the ladybugs and the bees, then the plants flourish, but at their own internal clock. Connections are made slowly. Sometimes they grow underground. You cannot tell always by looking what is happening. More than half the tree is spread out in the soil under your feet. Penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet. Fight persistently as the creeper that brings down the tree. Spread like squash plant that overruns the garden. Gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. Weave real connections, create real nodes, build real houses, live a life you can endure, make love that is loving. Keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in, a thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us, interconnected with rabbit runs and burrows and lairs. Live as if you liked yourself, and it may happen. Reach out, keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we are going to live for a long time. Not always, for every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. Please take a moment of silence. Now, I invite you to engage in one of our rituals of the heart by either putting a stone in the sand over here in our niche on the wall, or lighting a candle or writing in our heart journal. And Zoomers, please join in this ritual as well, perhaps by lighting your own candle or even drawing a labyrinth with your finger. This ritual connects us all and forms a circle of compassion and love.
We rise, humbly hearted. Rise, won't be divided. Rise, with spirit to guide us. Rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise.
All of the children
Rise.
Elders with wisdom.
Rise. Ancestors surround us. Rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise up from the wreckage. Rise with tears and with courage. Rise, fighting for life we rise.
Sing with us if you're able.
In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, humbly hearted. Rise, won't be divided. Rise, with spirit to guide us. Rise.
Oh my goodness. That was beautiful. Thank you. Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Barbara Quijada, and my pronouns are she and her. And as you can tell from my reading earlier, I don't speak Spanish very well. But I like trying, and I thank you for indulging me earlier. This is my reflection on working with Valley Interfaith Project, VIP. Before I tell you about how and why I work with them, I want to give you a little background about how interfaith work happens in my family. Trust me, there is a connection. My early relationship to organized religion was tangled. My mother left her teetotaler, no movies on Sunday, Presbyterian faith to marry into my father's cocktail partying, traditional prayer book, Episcopalian family. I left that faith at 15 when I found it hypocritical as an atheist to recite the Apostles' Creed. But Frank and I were married in my parents' church because it was too painful to argue with the tear-stained letters detailing their dreams for their only daughter's wedding in the beautiful St. James Episcopal Church in Taos, New Mexico. It really is a gorgeous church. Our wedding was a funny mashup of Episcopalian seriousness and mid-1970s hippie heresy. And fun, too. Never mind Frank's Roman Catholic mom questioning the sanctity of the Episcopal marriage sacrament during our rehearsal. Early on, Frank and I worshiped at the altar of Sunday tennis and then brunch. A few years later, like many new parents looking for a religious home for our growing family, we joined VUU. Frank is from a large family. He and his twin brother and 7 sisters were raised Catholic. He can still recite the Latin verses he learned as an altar boy in Naco, Arizona. Frank's siblings' religious journeys are where our interfaith connections have gotten really interesting. One sister still counts herself a Catholic. One is decidedly anti-organized religion. One is now Orthodox. Her husband and one of their sons are currently attending Orthodox seminary. The rest of Frank's siblings practice various iterations of the modern Christian faith, from "we love you and we're praying for you" to "we love you, but you know you're going to burn in hell." It's true. Notice that even with our crazy family religious connections, from my progressive brothers to Frank's far-right evangelicals, we continue to gather for holidays and weddings and baby showers, to cook together and laugh together, to believe without doubt that we are bound together by love. That's what working with VIP is like for me, without a crazy far-right branch, thank goodness. Working with fellow leaders in Valley Faith Interproject encourages me to proudly share my UU values with the interfaith world. We are United Methodists and Episcopalians, Catholics and Jews, UUs and UCCs, members of education associations and neighborhood coalitions. We listen to stories from people who feel left behind or denied benefits that should be accorded all residents of our Maricopa County. We organize for change. VUU joined VIP under the guidance of our former minister, the Reverend Dr. Andy Burnett. We pay dues to help support the work of organizing because things like office rent and the salary of VIP's one professional organizer need to be paid. I got seriously involved in VIP during the pandemic when the work of organizing was doubly difficult. Over the last 2 years, I've become passionate in my belief that working with fellow religious, education, and business progressives is the best way to understand the roots of disparity in housing, in healthcare, in education. It's how we confront those in power who perpetuate those disparities, and how we advocate and organize for change. I'm excited that Reverend Sarah has done this kind of organizing work before and is supportive of VIP so early in her VUU ministry. One of the VIP staff acknowledged in a meeting the other day that yes, organizing can often seem decidedly disorganized, like we're always reorganizing. And working with VIP sure reminds me that the journey to lasting change is not going to be a quick trip. Sometimes organizing for change is messy, and often it's slow. And it is so, so important. You are all invited to stay after the service today for a brief explanation of the relationship between VIP and VUU, and more importantly, to experience a VIP Civic Academy on affordable housing. Unaffordable housing, as it seems now. One of the things I like most about VIP is they always keep meetings short and sweet. Our goal is to keep it to less than an hour. I believe interfaith work is a way to be a witness of the world, as Barbara and I read in this morning's opening meditation, to mend it, to change its course, to restore it. I'm called to act on my values in this way, to step into that wider circle. There's room for UUs in the circle of interfaith organizing. I invite you to step into it with me.
We rise, humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise.
Well, there have been times and places where I experienced transformative, courageous love and witnessed its power. It worked within me and spread around me. I was and we were both conduit and generator. It made us feel brave and powerful. It channeled our anger and our ambivalence or fear into action and words and commitments. As Reverend Rebecca Parker describes this love in her essay, House for Hope, she says this love is dangerous. We advocate for love that surprises, disrupts, and alters the status quo, that expresses itself in diverse ways, that comes in rainbow colors. This love is based on a kind of human permaculture, a garden planted not in straight rows, but in ways that complement one another and make best use of all the resources at hand, that wastes nothing and creatively conserves the resources needed. As Marge Piercy put it in the poem we heard earlier, a thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us, interconnected. How can we learn to do justice as an act of love and relationship first, rather than just a set of tasks and logistics? My first memories of a circle of courageous love come from my mother's work as an activist with the National Organization for Women and for Women's Reproductive Rights, equal pay, and all kinds of human rights. I watched her at rallies and I marched with her. I sat in meetings, and I listened to her talk to her friends and colleagues. I helped step envelopes and fold newsletters, when you used to do that, when they weren't digital. With these women, I learned that when you believe in something, when you want to make a difference, you don't do it alone. You create a circle of allies and friends, and you keep welcoming more people into the circle. I see the threads of this work in all the organizing I've engaged, from working with tenants in Dallas, to the Poor People's Campaign in Kansas, to election defending in Georgia, to right here in Phoenix and Chandler. Now we live stream our conversations and protests and political education, and we meet via Zoom. We UU the vote together through text and phone banking, letters and phone calls, and all kinds of voter engagement. And yes, we do still sometimes knock on doors. I did it yesterday. but we never do it alone. You hear me? Never solo. Forward together, not one step back. So 20 years ago, when I was in El Salvador, I met a woman who'd gone from being a homeless single mom with no income or job to being a landlady whose daughter was headed for university. She had started a microenterprise with $50 and bought 2 pigs that she bred. The pigs gave her money to invest in a home and then to build an extra room to rent and extra property to rent. But she didn't stop with her own well-being. She told us that she wanted to reach 100 new women over the next 5 years by inviting them into microcredit circles. She, dressed in a torn dress with no shoes, while cooking over a wood-burning stove in a house with a tin roof and 1 light bulb and chickens running at our feet. She wanted to make sure that she was offering an opportunity for other women to be in a lending circle, a new circle of courageous love that would transform her community and their communities. And from her, I learned, dare to be audacious. Working with the Poor People's Campaign in Kansas, I could be found often singing with many other voices in the halls of political decision-making and as accompaniment to protest. Because singing strengthens the circle and draws us more deeply together. Amen. We moved from advocacy to organizing and protest because the voices that most needed to be heard weren't being heard. Because we needed to learn to follow those most impacted by the policies and programs we were seeking to change. We sang, "Somebody's hurting my people, and it's gone on far too long." And we also sang, "Went down to the rich man's house, and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my dignity. I took back my humanity." How can we learn to collaborate and build partnerships to share the work and broaden the scope? In Marge Piercy's words, we are called to penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet, spread like the squash that overruns the garden, gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. This kind of love knows no violence except drought and inattention. This kind of love requires presence and planning, but also relationship and diversity, plurality. In an interfaith prayer circle in the Colorado capital, another circle of courageous love surrounding young immigrant dreamers, a group of Unitarian Universalist lay leaders and ministers joined other faith leaders from Denver. And that day we experienced something holy and unifying, an understanding that who we are being and the relationships we engage shape the work that we do. We are learning that we must build coalitions and collaborate, that our work demands a wide circle of partners with whom we will pray, protest, and organize. We are learning to side with each other and companion one another. Because organizing is how we remind ourselves that all souls are sacred and worthy, and that we have a responsibility to fight for salvation in this life for all of us. Amen. It is how we recollect ourselves into the work of building beloved community and reconnect with sacred power that is vibrant and life-giving. Protest and prayer, advocacy and organizing challenge us to see beyond the authority of systems and demand justice from a larger collective power. Organizing is an invitation to community, to a circle we draw ever wider. It is an opportunity for redemption and to practice courage. Courage is not just about overcoming fear. Courage is about tapping into life-affirming energy. For some of you, that is God. For some of us, it is the collection of our efforts on behalf of one another, and falling in love with life. Courage is really about love. Courageous love comes from a place of vulnerability and mystery, where we don't know how things will turn out and we can't avoid suffering. Brené Brown says that vulnerability is our most accurate measure of courage. And we practice this when we sing, pray, hold hands, and even disagree. We are learning to be vulnerable together and to reframe strength. Acting together with courage makes us both vulnerable and powerful. How will we, Unitarian Universalist congregations across this country, build a beloved community made up of circles of courageous love, where we sing together and act together, connected in our hearts as we move forward to shape the world? My hope for myself, for y'all, for our communities, and for our nation is that we will create circles of courageous love, knowing these lessons for justice work. Don't do the work alone. Dare to be audacious. Strengthen the circle with song and prayer. Side with communities facing oppression, and practice vulnerability. I hope these will be circles where we begin and end in song and prayer or meditation or quiet empathy or dancing or locking arms and protecting one another. No matter what our task is, no matter what our disagreements, no matter how vulnerable we may feel in that moment, I hope that when the going gets tough, we will schedule a little extra time to sing together and share stories, a little extra time to breathe and reflect before we re-enter our shared sacred work. And we will know that this is the work because courageous love will transform the world. I want you to say it with me. Courageous love will transform the world. Yeah. I hope you will begin to see us as a connected community of congregations and organizations that share ideas and values and history, that are engaged in similar work all over our communities, all over the state, hopefully all over the planet. There is so much power and opportunity when congregations see themselves as working in concert rather than in isolation. This year, we face incredible crises in our communities, and we are invited to UU the vote and to engage in many kinds of organizing and advocacy, protesting, and prayer with many, many partners. Carter Hayward tells us love, like truth and beauty, is concrete. Love is not fundamentally a sweet feeling, not at heart a matter of sentiment, attachment, or being drawn toward. Love is active, effective, a matter of making reciprocal and mutually beneficial relationship with one's friends and enemies. Love creates righteousness or justice here on earth. To make love is to make justice. May we recognize that we are called to act on behalf of the whole, on behalf of our own yearning for wholeness and healing. Ask yourselves, what is stopping us? And what does love call you to do, to heal, to transform in yourself and in this world that you are an integral part of? Take a look at your neighbors here and everywhere, today and this week. How might you act in concert with one another for a better world for all of us? Piercy says, live as if you liked yourself, and it may happen. Reach out, keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we're going to live for a long time. Not always, for every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. May it be so. Blessed be.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Reverend Sarah, for the powerful call to action, to act in concert with one another for a better world for all of us. You can start by giving your time, talent, and treasure to VUU to help us create a circle of courageous love that will grow and transform. The ushers are now passing the collection plates, but if you miss the plate or don't have cash, texting is available 24/7. The various ways that you can share your offering is detailed on the slide that just appeared. Thank you so much. We appreciate your generosity in all its forms.
the circle, draw the circle wide. Draw the circle, draw the circle wide.
Draw the circle, draw the circle wide.
You're welcome to sing along with us. Draw the circle wide, draw it
I feel so filled up. Anyway, our closing words are by Andrea Hawkins Camper. Be about the work. May we see all as it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For if not us, who? If not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice with the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do, and this is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge, to be the living embodiment of our principles, to be about the work of building the beloved community, to be a people of intention and a people of conscience. Blessed be.
Please stand in body or in spirit. We can sing together in our closing song, I Am Willing by Holly Near. I
and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is a hurting in my family, there is a sorrow in my town, there is a panic all across the nation, and there is waving the whole world around. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, may the elders be more wise, may the winds of change caress us, even though they burn our eyes. And I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty Lord to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. For I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Just our voices. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. For I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change.
Please join us in saying the words with which we extinguish the chalice. Though we extinguish the chalice, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again. Go in peace. Thank you.
But stay if
Oh.
you want to for our conversation about VIP.
And-
And if you stay, we will feed you.
We have some food if you're staying. It'll be up here in front. But also enjoy coffee and snacks at the back as you're...
able.